Welcome back. It is the 5th Tuesday of the month, which of course, as always, means that, it just so happens to be that the free content that we get this time is the third time in the month of December, which means that the next time we get free assets will be in the middle of January approximately. So the next time it comes, you'll know why it comes so late and you won't be surprised. Anyway, as always, to find these assets, you go to fab.com and you go to the limited time free part and you click explore now, and you get to go to the different assets that we have available to us. So this time around we have Pirate Stilt Village Island, we have a Skeleton Guard, and we have a comic book cutscene asset. So let's go and check them out. But before that, to get them, you go in here and you choose personal or professional license, and then you add it to the cart and then add all three and then buy them, or you just buy one immediately depending on if you want all, one, or none of them. So that's how you get them. Let's check them out and see what gives. So first out we have the Skeleton Guard modular asset. So this is essentially all that you get in this set. So first of all, you have an exploding skeleton. This exploding skeleton is just a demonstration of what you could do with it. It's showing off the different parts that you have to break it apart if you wanted to. It's a very simple blueprint setup to just simulate physics after a few seconds in the lifetime of the skeleton. So that's what that does. These are the different parts that you have for the skeleton, and these are the different armor pieces that you can equip the skeleton with. So you can see that there's some amount of pieces here, but not a whole lot. So the variety you can create with it is approximately this. Here you have the naked skeleton, and here you have the fully armored skeleton. So you could mix and match and have a few pieces gone and stuff like that. You could also change up the materials to give it a different look and such. But overall, you don't have a whole lot of variety here that you can create, and also you have one weapon here. So the modularity is basic, not extensive. In the back here we can see the different animations that we have. These are of course all of the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin animations, so you don't get any animations except for those that you already have from the base templates. This character is rigged to Unreal Engine 4 mannequin, not Unreal Engine 5, so you would have to retarget if you wanted to make use of that. And yeah, that's essentially what you get inside of the modular Skeleton Guard asset pack. Next up we have the Pirate Stilt Village Island modular pack. So it seems to be very popular to throw in modular into all the different packs, which is, in my opinion, a little bit overused, because when you have a pack that's consisting of essentially static meshes, then there is of course an inherent modularity to them themselves. And when you get the word modular into something, you expect something more than that. But yeah, so this is essentially the pack that you get. This is the overview demonstration level that shows off the pack in its prime. You have a little pirate / shanty village of rustic nature going on here. There is not a great variety of pieces you have here. You are essentially, as you can see here, all of these cabins are looking more or less the same. There are some small variations on certain things, and you have some signs and things like that, and then what you do around it is essentially how you make it customized. To display just how many assets you get, and this is the overview level for that. So you can see we have a bunch of different, I'm not sure if I could call them tents, but different pieces of wooden structures, some boats, some sloping parts, some barrels, boxes, ropes, and then some sheds, small buildings, a few different cabins, palm tree, rocks, and some foliage. Also a couple of beds here. So you can see that there is not a whole lot of different objects available to you here, and these cabins here themselves are also complete objects, so they're not made out of component parts to make out of them, so you can create a whole bunch of different ones. This is essentially what you get and what you can create with them. But if Pirate Town with lots of wooden structures is what you're after to create, then maybe this will come to some sort of use. And lastly, we have the comic book cutscene. So I'll let it speak for itself for a little bit. We'll just run into the spawner and it can demonstrate what it's consisting of. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm not sure if this is a intended feature to show off different layouts or not, but that feels like a bug to have inside of your demonstration. I don't know. Anyway, so on surface level, this seems like a pretty cool thing to have cutscenes in the form of comic book strips, and yeah, that's pretty nice. However, there isn't really much here once you dig into it, really. What this consists of is, in essence, you have a few different layouts available to you. This is the one that we got demonstrated with the character. You can see that how you can frame your different pictures in them, and it's essentially just having an image displayed inside of them, which is then driven by some logic of when you want to have it run. So you play some frame, play some dialogue if you want to, and then it just has some timers that is essentially waiting for it to transition. Very, very basic. And then it's calling an event dispatcher that's finished over here. So the basis is very, very, well, basic. In addition to that, you might be wondering, well, how is this created? It had a very stylized sort of look. And yeah, that's why the second part of this asset is here, I'm assuming, which is that if I go into pressing tab, I go into a photo mode, which has this sort of toon shader applied to it. And inside of here, you can move around, you can change to slow motion, you can take a screenshot, and then you can make use of that picture inside of your different cell shaded images in your sequences. So that's why these two parts are together. The problem I have with this is it seems like a cool thing to begin with. It doesn't seem to have a lot of features. It's boasting that it's making use of a bunch of different libraries, macro libraries and function libraries. If we check those, we can see that there's one function library with one function inside of it. We have a widget macro library here. It has 3 different functions inside of it. And there isn't really a whole lot more inside of this. So going to the page for this asset, you'll see that there's no documentation for it. So it's basically just like unravel what you have here and do with it what you will. It might be a cool base to build upon further, for sure. But there isn't really a whole lot of functionality. And since there's no documentation, there isn't a lot to do there. Support is handled through email. There's not a Discord as far as I understand it. So yeah, it's basically like what you see is what you get here, and not much more than that, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what we get this time around. We get a modular skeleton guard, which is okay, I guess. We had the pirate shantytown, which consisted of a few different static meshes. Both of these previous ones were, in quotation marks, modular. And then we have this comic book thing. And the interesting part about this is that the prices were higher this time around than it was last time, because these assets all had a price point that was higher than the previous ones were. It unfortunately doesn't feel like we got quality products that actually reflects this. So I'm not sure that the price points themselves are warranted, which probably you can see from the assets themselves. The Pirate Town doesn't have a rating. The Skeleton Guard doesn't have a rating. The comic book scene does have a rating. You can see that there's 7 of them here. The threshold to actually get a rating at all is to have 5 ratings posted. So you can see that there's really no people that have bought these assets, yet these assets were picked out and chosen as our picks for this bi-weekly free asset pack. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad. We get something that's free. We should be happy about that, of course. Unfortunate that they weren't of high quality. Interesting that this one was a little bit different, the comic book cutscene asset. Unfortunate that it wasn't more fleshed out and functional than it is. But yeah, that's what we got this time around. Anyway, keep on learning. Take care. A big thank you to all of you who like, comment, subscribe and share my videos, or through other means support this channel. You are what makes this channel grow and become a resource for other people to learn from.